get them to church. Mothers are working 2 jobs and all of those things. So how do we go around those issues, as we think about what used to be? We used to have a nuclear family. We used to have where grandmothers and all of these could come and take us and do things with the children. But now you've got young grandmothers and young grandfathers, people that are 40 years old that are now grandparents, and they're working and trying to do their lives and all of that. So how do we go around all of that?
Dr. Robertson, let me say this. That is an excellent observation and question. Because what she says is that how do we deal with the new dynamics of the family today? Because they're not like you got a whole bunch of single parent family members in your church, and they got busy lives. So how do we fix it? Well, I think we have to come up with new ways. And it's hard, but it's not impossible. So what has to happen is that we've got to make some paradigm shifts. And I'll give you an example, and I'm giving you a secular example, but let's take McDonald's. Look how McDonald's have changed in order to accommodate the culture. McDonald's came out with an app. You now can have an app for McDonald's. And in the app, you can buy stuff and have it ready for you when you get there. Because McDonald's realized that the young people are always what? On their phones, on their mobile devices, right? And so they come up with an app to say, okay, we got the same stuff. We still got the little $1.50 cheeseburgers or whatever, the fries and the drink, and the hamburger, the Big Mac is still 2 off beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, tomatoes, cheese, and sesame seed bun. It's still the same sandwich, but McDonald's has found a way to market their product so that it's attractive to the people of this generation, of this culture. The churches have not yet adapted to that. Can I get a witness here? We've got to make some paradigm shifts. We got to say, okay, look, this is the way we've used to do it, and it worked. Now, it works on great-grandma, because in this day and time, a great-grandma is in her 60s. Seriously. Paul, back in there, great-grandma was in her 90s. But in today's society, great-grandma can be 60, 65, 70. Because a grandmother can be in her 50s, or even, like you said, in her 40s. And she can have a kid. And I got a grandson that's 14. And at the age he's at now, he could get a girl pregnant. And I'd be a great grandfather. and I'm 55. So what do? You have to, the administrative churches have got to go and rethink some things. And you got to involve younger people in the process. In the class that I taught a few weeks ago over at the Friendship Baptist Church, it was a class on how to reach 40 and under, and it was really a millennial class. And in the research I did, it was talking about how often we don't make younger people a part of the decision-making process. We want to make things that's attractive to them based on our own perspective. Well, we're not in their shoes. I'm not 22 years old anymore. And when I thought as a 22-year-old, it's not the same way a 22-year-old thinks today. And I can't go off of what I did, and I was saying that I went to a church where the youth director was in her 80s. How out of touch is that church? Your youth director is a senior citizen. She's in her 80s, and she's a youth director. we got to change some things if we're gonna be able to get back or at least try to capture our young people. We've got to be figure out the culture in which they are doing. Listen, the world is already above us, ahead of us. I'm sorry, the world already knows. The every commercial, everything that you see in the media is targeted to a certain uh, demographics, and it's millennials because they're the largest group in America now. Millennials are larger than the baby boomers, and most of us in here are probably are what is called baby boomers. Millennials are all are what 90 something million people. Millennials 90 something, and baby boomers around 80 something million. So it's almost